Alright, how you going? I like everyone else I guess that does painting, I've gotten pretty good over the years of using pressure packs. I've even sprayed cars with pressure packs and had comments that you couldn't tell. But I'm going into guns to see how good I can paint with guns. And so I've watched enough videos on YouTube for beginners and so forth, and I don't think any of them are for beginners because it shows too many advanced things in there of what they're doing, the tools they're using and so forth. They're not beginners. If I had all the fancy tools and everything that everyone says videos for beginners has, I'd be doing fancy jobs too, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to show you the job that I'm currently working on, and I'll record what I use and what I do, and I can't give you any pointers of what to do and what not to do until I make the mistake myself. But I figured I might as well share what I'm doing here, and you can take from it what you like, do's and don'ts or whatever. So for starters, here's the bonnet that I'm working on. And you can see it, I've been doing a lot of this by hand, and then I got sick of using the hand, so I got the sander out and I sanded it, and it feels pretty smooth, but nonetheless you can see that's the clear, that's the paint, that's the base coat, and that's the undercoat there. I need to keep going until I got all that clear off, because I don't want, even though it's going to be under the paint, I've sanded it and so forth, at some point that clear is going to lift and it's going to destroy my work. I know that from previous experience of spraying over top of clear. You've got to get rid of all that clear first before you can do anything. And I can also tell you, with using pressure packs, it'd be the same rule with spraying with guns. It's all about the preparation. It's not about so much about the spraying. You get the spray right, and you know how to handle it and so forth. And here's a pointer, actually. I can give you spray packs. When I'm using the rattle cans, I always warm them up to about 40 degrees. So I put them in hot water from in the tap, and I'll heat them right up. And don't leave it in there forever. I just keep on shaking the can in the hot water like as if you're warming up a baby bottle. And I get the rattle cans warm first before I spray. And the spray you get out of a spray can is much more finer. And because you've heated the can up, you get a lot more pressure and you get a better job than just a cold can going. And also a cold paint will run, warm paint less chance of running. Anyway, that's my experience with rattle cans. I always warm the cans up first. About 40 degrees, it's just a guess. When I put it in hot water and I shake it and so forth, I don't leave it in there. I just, by the feel of the can, alright, yeah, that's pretty hot now. So that's how I just take it out and go from there. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get the sander out again and dry the bonnet off. Get the sander out again. I'm just going to sand all the areas where the clear is first, and then I'll come back onto this with 400 to get it ready for doing an undercoat. I'm not going to go 400, 800 and 1500 and whatever crap. I'm just going to go 400 after I've gotten the clear off. I'm going to go over the whole bonnet with 400, and then I'm going to go with my undercoat over the top of that, and then after that I'll worry about the stages of sandpaper before I do base coat. Now, just to show you what I'm doing up close, is I'm focusing on the clear, so you can clearly see the clear. So I'll show you here. The reason why I'm moving back and forth and so forth is I can actually watch how much of the clear is going down. So I'll just do a little bit. And you can see, most of the time when I get rid of the clear, straight away the base coat comes up as well. So the base coat's really thin on this bonnet. Once the clear's gone, pretty much you'll lose the base coat as well. So that's what, I've got all this area here to work on yet, so it's going to take a while. Okay, so I'm about halfway, almost halfway done on this bonnet so far. I've still got a whole bunch of clear on the other side to go. And now don't kid yourself, when you're going to do a job like this, this is not just one day work what you're seeing here. I started this yesterday, probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and worked for a couple of hours sanding and whatnot. And then today, like just spent 40 minutes on that section there, and I'm still got the front part here to finish off before I get over there. So I haven't seen any videos on YouTube on how to sand a bonnet and how to be quick about it. I'm pretty sure that this is just a timely job that if you want to do it right, you just have to keep going at it until you get it to the point you're happy. So yeah, I can see a little bit of clear up there. Now I'm going to use a block to do most of this with wet and dry, but the areas up here have to be done by hand because there's no way I'm going to get a block into those corners, and when getting up here I'm going to have to mask the guard off, so I'm not sandpapering. Sandpapering, is that even a word? So I'm not sanding over and scratching into the guard there, although the guard's going to need to be painted at some point anyway, so if I was to damage the guard, it's no great loss at the moment. Anyway, yeah, I'll keep going with this and get ready to the prepping part of when I'm going to spray the undercoat, and yeah, I'll record a little bit more then. So I've got the whole bonnet prepped for doing the 400 and so forth that I want to do, but you can see there is parts that's still clear. There's little parts that's still clear on it, like along here and so forth. Now that's pretty thin already. But before I start tackling 400 wet and dry onto this, I'm going to come over to the areas where there's metal shining, and I'm just going to whack a bit of spray pack undercoat on that, etching primer. I used 120 grit sandpaper on the sander, in case anyone's wondering. I didn't mention that before. So yeah, all these areas here where I've gone to metal, I'm just going to quickly spray over them tonight, as I'm about to pack up for tonight. So I'm going to spray over them, but even if I wasn't packing up now, I'd still spray over those areas first before going over the whole bonnet with 400, because I'd like all the shiny parts of the metal covered first. I don't know if you need to bother about doing that, but I would like to. So I'm going to get some, I think it's called grease and tar remover or something. Wax and grease remover. I'm going to get some wax and grease remover, go over those areas where I'm just going to do a bit of a touch up, so no chance of nighttime mildew, rusting or anything like that, and ready for tomorrow for me to go over this with wet and dry. Just show my progress here, so you can see this is what I'm aiming to get the bonnet to look like. This is what I've still got to do, and yeah, it's taken some time, but I want to make sure that I get it right. So I have to keep sanding until I've gotten rid of all that red. Like I said before, you can see the clear there. As soon as I get rid of the clear, the red doesn't, the red pretty much comes straight away off after the clear's gone. So I'm using that as my guide. When I get past the red, then I'm working past and getting it to look like this. I'm not focusing on getting every speck of red out, as long as the clear's gone. My biggest hate about this is leaving the badge on, trying to get around there, but that's life. That's what I'm doing for today. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so not a real good time to be painting. Gonna get dark soon. So all I need to do now is get the undercoat ready, mask it up, or mask it up first and then get the undercoat ready. And I'm not really too sure how many layers of undercoat I should go, or does it really matter? This is questions that never get answered in other videos. So I'm going to go for probably 3 or 4 layers of undercoat, purely because when I go over the top with 3 different grades of sandpaper to bring it down to 1500, I want to make sure there's enough undercoat on there that I'm not going to go back to bare metal like you see in places, and get it ready for a top coat. Okay, just showing you my progress here. I've got 2 layers of undercoat on at the moment, and that's my gun there that I'm using. Now I didn't adjust the fan on it. I think I'm going full fan, I'm not too sure, but anyway, I turned this all the way out first, held the gun in, or the trigger in, and then wind it in until it wouldn't turn anymore, and then tighten it there, and I think that's my fan pattern. I adjusted this, so I'm getting a nice spray from it, but not too heavy. And this here is set to 27 psi. That's how I've got it all set up there, and I'm using this as my testing area for when I'm spraying. So anyway, I've got 2 coats on here at the moment. So I'm just gonna, it's been 5 minutes now, so I'm gonna just try and brush away these bugs a little bit. Just going over with a dry cloth, and then I'll go for the 3rd coat. So I've got this tack cloth. Now, keep in mind, I've never done this before, so you're learning with me, basically. I've got this tack cloth as well that was suggested to go over the undercoat before spraying another coat, and you know, picks up some shit, but it left areas on my undercoat that was a bit shiny, and I was like, well, it feels sticky in my fingers. I don't know what crap I'm leaving behind on the bonnet there. So I went back over it again with wax and grease remover. I buy it in a bottle and put it in the spray can. It's cheaper than buying spray packs. So I'm ready for another coat now. Got 4 undercoats on. It's sprayed really easy, so I used the whole mix of what I made for undercoat, which was basically 20% thinner to whatever I used of undercoat. So if I use 400ml undercoat, I mixed with 75% thinner, 75ml rather, 400ml undercoat, 75ml thinner, and that's what I've sprayed this with. Now I could be right, I could be wrong, I don't know. And I've got to wait 1 hour now before I can run over 800 and 1500 on this. Some painters say that you only need to run it over with 400 and then go for it. And other painters say you got to go right to 2000. So who knows? You never get a, between all the different videos on YouTube, you don't really get a clear answer of what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. I feel comfortable with running over this with 800 and then 1500, and not a heavy rub, just go over it so it's nice and smooth, then go over again just as a wash with the 1500, and that's as far as I'm going with that. And if you're wondering why the bonnet's not on the car, I just took the cheater's way out, and instead of masking off the car, which I could have done, I decided to take the bonnet off, and I don't have to worry about any masking then. So now I'll come back to this in an hour. I'll rub it back with wet and dry and get the top coat ready, or the base coat ready. Just quickly, I've already cleaned the gear I'm going to use for spraying, because it does say to make sure that your gun and everything is completely clean of undercoat before putting in your base coat in spraying. With 800 and 1500, blown off. I went over it with the wax and grease remover, and then I've blown away if there's any dust or anything that might have been left behind from the cloth I was using. Blown away the water from the logo, and I'm going to retape that because the masking tape got all wet and I didn't like water being there, so I've taken that off. I'm going to remask that, and I'm just about ready to go on it. So I'm going to just sit the camera on record while I spray, and you can just watch that bit, I guess. I've really got to mix for a while because you can see how the paint's really sticking thick to my 1/2 inch extension bar, but it's nice and clean. It'll do for a stirrer. So I'm just going to keep going at it until it's not like that on my extension bar. Okay, so biggest pain in the ass. I had to do a didn't quite have enough in the can to do a or in the gun to finish doing a coat. So I stopped midway, mixed the paint, put it in, hit the bonnet. Look at that. So that's top surface crap. So what I'm going to do, I've got enough paint there to go another 2 coats over the top, so that's alright. Painting part is now I have to wait an hour before that dries so I can sand that area, probably go over the whole bonnet just for good measure, and paint it tomorrow now. It's going to be too late if I wait an hour. It's too late in the afternoon to start painting another coat, then I'll have to wait till tomorrow to finish this. I can tell you exactly what happened and the importance of straining. So you've got the gold metallic that's in there. Now what's happened is, instead of putting it through the strainer, I wanted to be quick and just get that last bit of paint on the bonnet there, and I just went straight from the container to the gun, and that's why, without using the filter, I got that gold metallic spray on the bonnet there. So no big deal, I guess. It's just a setback. Should be finished tomorrow. Probably a good idea anyway to finish tomorrow when the sun's actually on it. So I'll count that as a blessing. Okay, a good pointer to point out though is that I've never really seen anybody do this when explaining to people how to spray paint. Probably one of the most important steps of all, even though I have filters on my compressor, I just released the valve on the bottom to just blow out any water, and you can see my hand is covered with yucky water. That's from the ground. So you don't want to get any water droplets in your line, that's for sure. Also, this is not my first time using a gun. It's my first time using a gun painting a car. I've used the gun for multiple reasons, so I'm not new to using guns. But I've always done car repairs with spray packs. And another question is, you can see the lighting of this. Obviously I'm in the shed today because it's today turned out to be a miserable day and I want to finish this. So I'm going to do this in my garage. See how I've sanded the bonnet. Now, another thing that is never mentioned in online clips, and I've never really cared when using spray packs, but I'd like to know the answer. Should you be doing circle motions when sanding, or should it be straight strokes? I've seen people do both, but I've never actually seen anybody show that last step of how they sanded before applying clear. So this is kind of like a question video. Like, I'm doing the job, all my mistakes, any questions I have, if anybody knows the answers or a better way of doing things, I'm open to it, any way I can better my skills in doing what I'm doing. So this is all clean right now. I'm about to paint it. Probably just want to go over it just one more time with a nice dry cloth, just to make sure there's no dust or anything on there. Between the time I started recording, between the time I blew out the compressor and the time I started recording until now, there's possibly dust particles that I can't see that's landed on the bonnet. So I'll just give it another wipe over, and then I'll get into painting. I don't know if you should do this, but before spraying, I'm just going to make sure that the nozzle's all cleaned out. So just put a bit of thinners in there. I'm going to blow that out, just to make sure that there is nothing in there that I don't want in there. Okay, and before painting, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. Paint filter. I've already pre-mixed since yesterday, so Well, that's crap. I just realised that the camera wasn't recording. Sorry, guys. I clearly painted it now. I've still got the mask on. Bloody hell. Oh, well, them are the brakes. You probably can't see that. But anyway, there's a little bit of paint left over. I'm not going to try and keep on going just to finish off the paint. I'll store that in the container and it can be touch-up paint for later. I hope you can understand me all right. Okay, so I have a few questions, and I just watched probably about an hour and a half of videos on YouTube about spraying clear coat and what's best to do and so forth. And I got no clear answers. So I'm hoping somebody who watches this video who knows a bit about painting can give me my answers. So I've got a nice good base coat on this right now, and she's dry, ready to go. And bit of a bug on there. And so some videos I watch, they spray the base coat and they spray the clear coat, and job looks magic. Some I've seen, they spray a base coat and then they say you should go over it with 400 before going for clear coat. And then you got another one that he just, where there was a bug or something like that, he came along just with 1200 and just gave a bit of a scuff where the bug was, cleaned it off, sprayed it with clear coat. And I'm getting all sorts of different answers, trying to search for what should you do. And so I googled it, and on the first thing that comes up when you say should you sand before clear coat, the first link that came up said that you should sand the whole area first to give a nice smooth finish before spraying clear coat. So I really don't know. Am I wasting my time spraying clear coat? Oh, sorry. Am I wasting my time sanding it before spraying clear coat? Or do I need to give it a nice sanding first? To me, from self-experience with painting with spray packs, I know that if I don't sand before spraying clear, then you basically get a nice shine, but the look of what the base coat currently looks like, it's not smooth, it has that bit of a roughage to it. And then I'm going to bring the camera closer. You have a bit of a roughage look to it. That's what you see after spraying the clear coat. That's my experience with painting with pressure packs or rattle cans, if you wish. So I am going to go over this not with 400 and not with 800, but straight to 1500. And I'm not going to go heavy on it either. I'm just going to basically wash over until it's smooth. Then I'll dry it off and get into it for clear coat. But it's looking pretty good right now. I'm happy with it. I fixed up my mistake I made at the front there. So that's all. I've only been away for an hour and a half, and see, you got overspray there as well. So that's, I'll get into it. I'll do a 1500 wet and dry all over it. And yeah, see what it looks like afterwards. And I'm doing this in the shed, so I can't use a hose. So I'm using a using one of these guys that you normally use for weed killer or whatever. And another thing that I think I missed out in the last, I was asking this question before I sprayed, was when sanding, some people say you're supposed to sand in one direction. Some people say sand in a crossword direction, like going this way and then that way, which I see no difference to going this way and that way. And then others say you've got to do circle motions. I'm going to do circle motion myself because I think that's probably the best way to do it. But I don't know. I'm trying to learn here, and there is no clear videos on YouTube about this is the common way to do it. I think it's basically get into it, sand it however you want to sand it, and spray. That's pretty much the message I get from watching videos. So I'm just going to do what I feel is probably the best answer for me, and hopefully someone can yeah, give us some pointers and actually maybe use this video to make a review of this video and explain what I did wrong and so forth. I don't give you download this video and use it for yourself. If there's copyrights, whatever, I'll allow you to do it. I'll give you permission. So I'm going to get into it. Okay, so nearly finished here, and then I've got to do around the logo part. I've just basically gone over, 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 over. So basically I've just gone over the top twice. I'm not going to focus too much. It feels smoother than what it was before, but I don't want to go too much because that's my base coat, and if I go too much off, then I'm going to go more base coat on. And that's, to me, that's scary because I don't want to do that. And if you're wondering why I'm using such a large piece of wet and dry, it's just how I feel. Sometimes I use half that size, sometimes I use a full hand size. It's just how I feel when I'm doing it. This is not a if you're a backyard type of handy person. This is a backyard type handy person. So hopefully my mistakes or whatever I do is educational. What not to do, what to do. Leave your comments. Don't leave nasty comments. Just, you know, if I messed up, I messed up. Just guide me in the right direction. Open to help. I do want to try and get the best job I can. I'm going to wipe underneath because water gets underneath the edges as well. Plus a bit of yuck there. I'll blow out around the logo. And let's see what happens, eh? Don't push down too hard on it, they say. Just let it move over and collect whatever it collects. Let's see what happens. One thing everyone has in common though, with painting, they always say the favourite part is painting clear. I'm about to experience that on a large area like this. Not pressing hard. I'm actually going to get a towel and push hard into the crease there. I'm not a millionaire, so I do recycle. You know, that's totally been cleaned, but it's a bit stained, but it's nice and soft and everything still. I'm not about to go out and buy a whole bunch of towels and keep on replacing towels. That might be another mistake, but so be it. Bit of something there. I just gave a tack cloth around it. And the clear coat I'm using is just in I'll show it to you. Nothing special, it's not a 2-pack or anything. Not really too sure if it's good or whatever. Only go by what the paint store tells you when you're buying it. I'm not that much into it. Anyway, it says to mix here 1:1 or 1:1.5. Thin 1 part acrylic lacquer with 1:1 with 1:1.5. So I guess 1.5 litre to 1 litre. I'm obviously not going to do that. And it says wait 10 to 15 minutes for flash time. 1.6 to 2.0 millimeter tip. Apply 2 to 3 double headed coats. allow 10 to 15 minutes, flash off before between coats at 20 degrees. For acrylic liqueur, solid colours only 2 to 3 coats, and base colour, and allow 15 to 20 minutes drying time. Do not sand base colour finishes. So this one here says do not sand base colour finishes. Okay, so I don't know, give me some answers, eh? I'm going to mix 1 litre of this. Okay, so this is basically finished. That's 1 layer of clear, 1 litre of clear with 1 litre of thinner, so basically 2 litres of clear coat, two coats in total. I've gone over this, and that's the overspray that you can see from when I was on this side of the bonnet. So that's fair income results of what you see there, not nice and shiny. Well, that would be nice if it was all looking like that there. But I think I got the orange peel effect. Some of it looks nice, and then you come along and anyway, we'll see what happens after it's dried, polished, and final result. You know what? All I've done is wash it, and it doesn't look so bad. Heaps better than what it did before, and it should come up even better with a polish. So I'm happy with that. First time with a gun, spraying a complete car part, and it didn't come out so bad. Nothing like I expected, but a lot better than what it was. I'd actually like a bit of advice on a bit of fluff landed on the car while I was painting. Now, how will I go about rectifying that? It's just those 2 spots there. I don't really want to get some sandpaper in there without knowing what I'm doing before I do it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and totally open to suggestions, comments, advice, just anything on this. Use my video as how not to do things if you want to. I don't care. I think somebody doing it for the first time and recording this is going to be helpful to people who make videos and trying to help people know how to answer a few questions that someone like me would be asking. Alright, cheers guys, till next time.